Alright guys, now we're gonna talk about something really interesting in Python, how to analyze and check items in the list. And now the thing is, if you have data, then you have to analyze your data, right? So that means now we have to think like a data analyst and we have to start asking quick questions like how big the list is, what are the largest and the smallest items, does the list actually meeting the conditions and the rules in our project, and where do we find specific value, and how we can summarize the values. So now let's go explore and analyze the data of our list. Let's go. Now in Python we have a lot of functions, like for example you could use the max function to find the extreme high, or you could use the opposite to find the extreme low. Another function we have the sum in order to find the total, so it's gonna go and summarize all the values. And if you want to find how many items are inside the list, we can use the length. So those analyzing functions gonna give you a quick snapshot to find high, low, total and count. And now next we have two cool functions, all and any. So the all gonna ask the question, did everything pass? So are all the values true? If yes, then you will get true, otherwise false. And the second function is any. It is like you are asking, did something pass? So if there is at least one true, you will get true. So those two are your yes and no questions for completeness and uniqueness. All good or at least something good. Now moving on, we have as well methods. Like for example, we could use the count in order to tell how many times something shows up, or we could use the method index to tell you where it first shows up. So those two functions gonna help you to search and count. And next we could use as well the operators to check something, like for example the n in order to check the existence of a value inside the list, or you could use the is operator to check whether they are the same object in the memory. So with that we are checking the membership and the identity. Finally, we could go and use the comparison operators like the equal to, check whether the two lists have the same content. So by looking to this, we have a lot of tools to explore and analyze our list. And inside the toolbox, we have a lot of functions, methods, and operators. So now we're gonna go and cover all of them one by one, and we will start with the functions. Okay, so let's have a very simple list of numbers like 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. So let's start with the first one. Let's say that I would like to go and find out what is the highest number in my list. So in order to do that, we have very nice built-in function called max. It's gonna find you the highest value. So let's try this out. We're gonna say print, and now since we are saying it is built-in function, so it's like the print, you're gonna write the function name and pass for it your list. So our list is gonna be numbers. Let's try this out. Now as you can see, it is saying the highest number is actually 5, and this is true. So it is very simple. Now let's say that I would like exactly the opposite. I would like to see what is the lowest value in my list. And for that, we have the built-in function min. So we're gonna say min double point, call the function min and pass for it our list. So let's try this out. And as you can see, the lowest value in our list is 1. Okay, so now to the next one, we have an aggregate function called sum. You can use it in order to summarize all the values of your list. So this is really nice for data aggregations. We're gonna say sum double point, and we're gonna use the function sum. The same thing, we're gonna pass for it our list. So let's try this out. Now you can see the total of our values is 15. So it is really nice one. By the way, this will not work if you have like string values. So if you go and execute it, you will see this will not work. This works only with the numbers. Moving on to the next one, which is really important and nice one. You can measure the length of your list. And for that, we have the built-in function length. So let's try this out. We're gonna say length, then double point, and the function gonna be len and pass for it the numbers. So let's go and execute it. You will get the total length of 5. So we have 5 items inside our list. And of course, this function works for any data type. So if you have here strings or like Boolean, you will still be able to calculate the length of your string. Okay, now moving on to two really interesting functions in Python. We have the all and any. The all function gonna check if all the items are true. That means you have a real value in each item of your list. If that's the case, you will get true. Otherwise, you will get false. So let's try this out. And we're gonna say print. And here we're gonna say all double point and then all and our list. So let's go and execute it. Now you can see it is giving us true because we have a real value for each item. But now let's go and change that. I will just copy and paste, but I'm gonna go and create a new list. So I'm gonna create 3 items, 1, 0, and 2. Now if you go and execute it, you will get false, and that's because this function gonna consider the 0 as missing value. So that means not all the items are true, that's why you are getting false. And the same thing for the string values. So let's say that we have here a and then empty string and then b. So if you go and execute it, you will get as well false because empty considered to be a missing value. So you will get false for it. It will work only if you have everywhere a real value. Like for example here C. So we have a real value in each item, and if I go and execute it, you will get true. So all the items must be true to get a true. Now the exactly opposite is the any. It is more relaxed. You will get true if at least you have 1 true value in your list. So let's try this out. I will go and copy paste stuff. Now let's go and test first our original list, and I'm gonna say here any, and in the output as well any. So if I go and execute it, you will see I'm getting true because I have an item in each value. Now let's go and test the second list here where we have a 0, which is not really good. And I have to change this to any and then execute it. So now in the output we are getting true. Before with all we got false because we have 1 missing value. But as the word any says, it is at least to have 1 value. And here it is more than enough. We have the 1 and the 2. That's why you are getting true. And the same thing if you go and get the string values over here and say any, and here as well any, and execute, you will get true. The only way you will get false with the any if all the items are actually missing. So you have 0 and here as well 0, and if you execute this you will get false because the minimum is not fulfilled. You have to have at least 1 value. So as you can see, those are really nice functions in order to validate and check the quality of your list. So it's gonna help you to find quickly any issues or any gaps in your lists. So those are the Python built-in functions that you could use in order to validate and analyze something in your list. But as well in Python we have 2 extra methods that we could use in order to analyze our list. So we use counts, as the word says, in order to calculate how many times a specific value shows up in your list. So you are calculating the appearance of specific value. So now, for example, let's go and count how many times the number 5 appears in my list. So we're gonna go and print count double points, and now since we are talking about methods, first you have to specify the name of the variable. So you're gonna say numbers, then dot, then the method name. So we're gonna say count, and now we have to specify for Python the value that should be counted. And here I want to check how many 5s I have in my list. And now if you go and execute it, you will get count 1. So we have the 5 only once. So now let's try something else where I add another 5 in my list. And if you go and execute it, you will get count 2. So 5 appears twice in my list. So this is really nice in order to find out whether your values are unique or you have duplicates in your list. Now I said we have 2 methods. The second one, we have the method index. So this function is really amazing because it's going to help you to find the position number of the first time a value appears in your list. So far, you remember, in order to find the index number or the position number, we always counted like 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, of course, what you can do in Python, you can give a value and Python gonna return the index number or the position number. So for example, I would like to know the index number of the value 5. So let's go and print it and say index double points. This is a method, so numbers dots index, and now you have to pass the value. So I'm searching for the index of the value 5. Now if you go and execute it, you will get index 1, which is correct. Look again to the list. So we have 0 for the first item, and for our 5 it is position number 1. And now you might say, but how about the second 5? This function gonna return the position for the first appearance of your value, so the second appearance will not count. And by the way, the index gonna return only the positive numbers, so you cannot retrieve the negative numbers. So they are easy and fun, right? Okay, moving on. Not only functions and methods, we could use as well operators in order to check something. Like for example, we could use the in and the not in operators to check the membership. And this is really nice in order to double check whether our value is inside our list or actually it is missing. So let's try this out. Let's say that I would like to check whether in my list I have the number 4. Now, in order to do that, you're gonna say, is 4 in our list? So this is very simple. We used it a lot in the for loops. Now, of course, we have to go and print this out, and let's see what can happen. So as you can see, it is true. The output of the in operator is either true or false, and Python did find it. Now let's try something else, like for example 8. So let's execute. You can see false. 8 is actually not in our list. And if you say not in, so is 8 not in the list? If you go and execute it, you will get true. So as you can see, it is very simple. We are just checking whether our value is a member of our list. Of course, you can do that as well with the string values. Now, another check that we could do is that, let's say that we have 2 lists. So this is list 1, and let's have another list. So let's go and create something like 1, 2, 3, and they're gonna hold the same informations. Now, if you want to say, you know what, I would like to check whether those 2 lists are actually identical, so they are holding the same values, what you can do, you can go and use the equals to operator. So this is very simple. All what you have to do is to say list 1 equal to list 2. So let's try this. As you can see, it is saying true because those lists are identical. If you go and make here like a new item and you execute, you will get false. So that means we can go and use the comparison operators in order to check 2 lists. And now let's have another example where we are comparing 2 lists. Like let's make here in the second list we have 5. Now if you go and use the comparison operator, the smaller, and execute, you will get true. So now how Python actually saying one list is smaller than the other one? Well, actually, Python will not go and check all the values. It is lazy. It's going to go and check only the first value between the 2 lists. So now we're going to go and compare, is 1 smaller than 5? Well, it is true. And that's why Python going to stop and say, yes, it is true. Now, of course, if you say what happens if they are equal, and here we have something like 8. So if you go and execute it, it's gonna say false. Now what happens at that? Python gonna check the first item. Well, they are equal. Okay, let's go and check the second item. Well, the first list is higher than the second list. That's why it is false, and it's gonna stop. So this is what can happen in Python if you compare 2 lists. Now moving on to the next one, what can happen if you use the is operator? So now let's just make those 2 lists identical and then execute. You will get false. So what is going on? They have the same values. If I go and use equal and execute, I'm getting true. But now if I use an is operator, why it says it's false? Because those values are actually identical, right? Now the is operator gonna check the identity of your items. Now how Python gonna store those 2 lists? We're gonna have 2 separate lists in the memory, and the is operator don't care about the values of your list. It's gonna check whether they have the same memory address. So now since we have physically 2 different lists, then the memory addresses are not equal. So it's like you are asking, are the 2 lists actually pointing to the same address? Well, if the variables are pointing to the same data, then you will get true. Otherwise you will get false if you have 2 separate objects. And later you're gonna understand exactly why do we need this operator as we make copies of the lists. Guys, so as you can see, we have a lot of functions, methods, and operators that you could use in order to do data analysis on top of your data. So with that, we can learn from the data and we can answer quickly analytical questions like what is the size, the total, the extremes, how to find specific item, how to compare them, and of course doing exploration and data analysis. It is a very important step before doing anything complex. So before you do anything hard, you have to understand the content of your list. So if you like this video and you would like to have more free content like this, then support the channel by subscribing, liking, commenting. This really can help the channel to grow and to reach others like you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.